All right. So I'm back here with this Mclane reel mower, and I have been having problems with the Briggs Stratton engine that was on it. When I first took it apart, it looked like it was, pretty clear cut that it needed, the valves were stuck and all that good stuff. Well, I got it all put together, and still having problems with it. It seems like it is sticking. After 6-7 pulls, it's at a random time. It doesn't. It could be 2 pulls, could be 12 pulls, but it seemed like the crankshaft or something was just lodging. It was just freezing there, and I could work it back and forth, and it would come loose, and it seemed like it would be fine. So I'm going to take the engine back off. Well, I'm going to test it, before I take it all the way off again. But, I'm thinking it could be a camshaft problem. Maybe it's one of the valves still that's still sticking, right? I don't know. I'm just going to have to take the engine off, take a look at it, and I'm dying to see what the deal is, because it seemed like when it was trying to run, it sounded really smooth, right? So I didn't want to put a whole lot of money into this. So far I just have invested in tape and lapping compound, really, and just my time. But it's looking good, right? It's shaping up, it's looking good, everything's operating except for the engine. And I looked in my pile over here. Like I said, I didn't want to spend any money on this, but look back here, see that old tiller? Well, there she blows. There's the old tiller. What is that? A Maxim Manufacturing Corporation, Mississippi. I was at one time going to try to restore that. I know I'd taken the carburetor off, and it's still in the garage. I was going to clean it out. I know it was missing the cover. What else? Oh, and the gas tank that was on this one was totally rusted out. So I didn't get very far with it. But what I could do, looking at the engines, I mean, they're just identical. Let's check the shaft, 2.5 inches, and that's what, 3/4? Yeah, 3/4 diameter. This one, 3/4 diameter. This is only 2 inches, so this one's 1/2 inch longer. Is that going to make a difference? No, it'll be sticking out to about right here. So that's no big deal. Yeah, it just looks almost identical. Even that mounting, you can see the threads here. It's actually used on that one. Let's see what this one sounds like. Well, there's compression. Okay. And this one, I don't know if you can hear it over the wind. Hear that? So it's squeaking in there somewhere. Can't tell where it's coming from. And I'm using a ripcord. Every once in a while it will hang up on something and just freeze. And then I have to work its way clean. But right there is where it usually catches. And it's not every time. Isn't that weird? So I'll do that. I'm trying to work out a game plan here. I think I'm going to try to take the flywheel off and take a look. Maybe it's something caught in between under here that is that's catching every once in a while. If not, it's got to be internal, and it could be a camshaft problem, or maybe even still one of the valves is sticking. I do not know. And these don't have a compression release. I doubt it. But here's the option. I could always just take this motor off, give it a good cleaning, make sure these valves are okay, clean everything up, and just switch blocks, you know, and then use that carburetor and gas tank, everything, just put it right on, and use this engine. Then if I ever get around to it, you know, I'll still have an engine here that I can put on this tiller, but the tillers are going to need a lot of work, right? It's missing this cover that goes across here. The belt, I'm not sure about the transmission on this thing. Is it, yeah, see, it's, tillers are not moving, so this is probably chain driven under here, and I have no idea what the condition is going to be. But that would be a neat old tiller, though. Just missing a lot of stuff. But that's not my only one. I have another one in there that I believe it's a Craftsman, and one of these days I'll get around to restoring that one for sure. But okay, enough talk. Let's see how far we need to go with this. I'm going to take the flywheel off and check the valves again, and if I'm for certain that it's internally on that block that needs work, then I'm just going to switch. Alright, I got the engine off. Came off pretty easy. Before I take that one off, I'm going to go ahead and strip this one down, drain the oil, and crack the case open. And depending on what happens in there, or what we find, like I said, I might just use the block off of that one. But we'll see. I do want to crack this open though, because I'm curious to see what's going on in there. And I had quite a few of you guys taking a guess at it, making some good guesses, so we will find out. Hey, what's up, kitty? Well, I'll go ahead and take all this off, and I'll come back on before I crack this thing open. Alright, so I've been having a hell of a time. This set screw, you can see I had to get out my torch this sucker and put penetrating oil, all that good stuff. Finally got it out. Now I need to take this pulley off so I can crack this case open. This is going to be tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I can't get all three Just barely. Alright, slowly but surely. Alright, got that pulley off, man. It was hung up on there all the way through. Look at that key on that. That thing was almost rusted on there. So I'll have to clean it up. I hope I can use this same pulley on this other, on that other shaft, on the other engine. So that's done. Let's see, there's the pulley, there's the set screw. I'd already drained the oil. I was actually going to try to keep the oil because it was a fresh change, but when it started coming out, it was still brown and corroded, so contaminated. So I just discarded with it. Let's see. Let's get this cover off. All right. Where can I pry into that? Get this cover off. All right, here's thing just does not want to come off. Feels like sanding off right. See the wrinkle zones? Yeah, these hang over here. I'm surprised it should be just coming right out. Well, it seems to be jammed in there. I might have to dig this seal out. Alright, I finally got it loosened. I had to hold it in my lap and beat on it with the fucking mallet here. Unbelievable. That sucker was on there. So let's take a look. Couldn't believe how hard that was to get off. I guess from here down. But I'm going to turn it on its side. I bent that all out of shape. Oh, sorry, let me readjust the camera so you can see what I'm looking at here. Alright, so you can see everything's in there. The camshaft's plastic. Doesn't look like the lobes are any worse for wear. This piece is fine. Let's see, how's it spin? I think it's supposed to spin this way. Let's see if I can keep this in place. Let me spin it back around. There it is. So what? Pulled back too much. It's supposed to be there. Alright. It's right in there, whatever it is. So let's tear it down some more. I don't see any flat spots on the lobes. Of course, I'd have to measure those off, right? Well, it is kind of flat. There are flat spots on them. I'll have to look that up, measure them off. Because they're not as round as I'm used to seeing. See the flat spot right there on both of them. Yeah, all this stuff looks good. Let me go ahead and take these off. I'm gonna rotate it and see if I get that same feel. Okay, so I did look online last night, and while it looked like there were flats on the lobes, they're supposed to be like that. I looked at the photos for a replacement, and that's the way it looks. Plus, I'm glad this is not broken, because you can see they want $50 for that. Jesus Christ. But the other thing, when I was looking at the video, I rewatched what I was doing, and what I noticed, you know, with it moving back and forth this way, when this is back this way, that's when I feel the grinding, right? When I push it back in, everything's running smooth. So I think that's what it was doing. I mean, it was just jammed this way, and it was hell to get this thing off. So that's why I was only doing it every once in a while. All of a sudden it would start slipping this way, and then it would jam, right? and once I started moving it back and forth. So I guess it has something to do with with the camshaft not in the right position, and this thing was so jammed in there. It was, you know, I've never had that much trouble with a cover like that, trying to get it off. On this side, I don't know if you can see it, I know there's some shadows lurking there. Up here, I can feel some scraping. Yeah, there's definitely some scoring there. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. All the way around it. I would say the rings seem like one of them's kind of stuck in here. And this one's stuck on the other side. Yep, a lot of scoring in there. Alright, so that's it. I'm just going to put this thing back together real quick. And I'm definitely going to use the other block. So I guess I'm just going to save this this engine just for the parts, really. Just in case I have another one to work on, at least I have a good connecting rod. I have a good camshaft, all the little pieces, but the piston and the rings are scored, and the cylinders not any good. I know I serviced the valves, so I'll just keep it for parts. Well, I'm going to go ahead and seal all this back up and come back, and we'll take this other. We'll prep this other engine. All right, here's the other engine. So let's take all this off. I need to get this pulley off and make sure that this one is going to fit in. It should. It's almost the same size, isn't it? Well, I guess I'll have to use this one. I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm mismeasured. This has a larger diameter shaft. I'm going to set this on top of the on the reel mower and make sure that all this is usable. This bracket I can take off for sure, but well, I am running into some problems here. When I first looked at this, I thought the shaft diameter was the same, but it is not. Okay, so this one's Yeah, this one is 3/4. And I just went and measured the other shaft. It's actually a 5/8, and this one's a 3/4. So the problem I'm running into, let me show you. Alright, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm lining that up. Let's get the belt on. Move this down, this bracket. This is what disengages, and then when it moves over and engages the belt, you can see that pulley here, the tensioner pulley. So when I move everything into place, everything's lining up, but you can see the tensioner pulley bracket here is hitting this part of the pulley, this big thick end, and the other pulley didn't have that on there. So there's interference here, and I can't use this other pulley. The only thing I can think of, I'm going to have to crack this engine open and and swap out crankshafts, right? So that I can have that smaller diameter shaft here on the end. Wow. So another option, you can see I have this back into place. This is the donor engine, and I have that interference with this bracket, so you can see how it really needs to go all the way back to tighten up the belt to an. So, but you can see the amount of so it's hitting this part of the pulley here, but I could always cut this bracket down, right? Just measure off how much of this needs to come off for clearance, and let me shove it aside a little bit. So it looks like, yeah, that's awfully close. It looks like it'd have to come off about a 1/2 inch down and start to follow this up to the pin where the spring is attached. Yeah, that's awfully close. But that is an option. Well, here's another twist to the tail. You can see I decided to go ahead and drain the oil out of this donor engine. Look at all the water and crap that came out of there. When I first opened it up, it was nothing but water. Yeah, just holy shit. Well, to be on the safe side, I guess I'm gonna tear this engine down anyway. After seeing all that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and tear this donor engine down after seeing the water and crap that came out of the crankcase. So I might as well tear it down, check the valves, check, just do everything. I mean, I might as well. I want to make sure this sucker runs good. After all this work I've put into this, yeah, I'm not just going to slap this in and cross my fingers. I'm going to tear this sucker apart. Once I get it cleaned out, then I'll decide what I'm going to do. Either switching the crankshaft or modifying that bracket. Alright, so I got the head off. There's the old gasket. Luckily I bought these gaskets in bulk. I knew I had a few of these engines to work on. But look at this. Here's the intake valve. And guess what? It is stiff also. Identical to the other one. Isn't that something? So, I guess I'll be doing the same valve job on this one that I did on the other. Well, this cylinder feels fine. Thank God. So, do you want to sit through this again? this is going to be identical to what I just did on the other. Unbelievable, huh? But I guess these are old engines. There's 99, so they're 20, 21 years old and been sitting around for who knows how long. Okay, I've made an executive decision. So, given the fact that modifying this little bracket is probably not that big of a deal, but if I do sell this off after I'm done with it, and somebody needed to replace these parts, then this stock part would not fit, right? So, to keep it all this stock, I would have to, swap, use this crankshaft on that engine block, and I'd have to use this cover also, right? And to do that, you know, it was binding, and it was strictly because of that seal was bottomed out and not letting any oil down in here to keep it lubricated, right? So I decided I was going to hone this out while I let this soak, and while I do this valve job on this one. So I just got some sandpaper out and lightly honed the inside just with my finger, you know, and then clean this up too. And lo and behold, it just slides right in. So I think it'll work. I will I'm going to swap the crankshaft into this. I'm going to have to crack it open anyway after seeing the water and crap that came out of it. I'm going to do the valve job, crack this open, and take it apart and switch the crankshafts. Alright, I'm going to have to torch it. Can't get that pulley off. Alright, let's try this. It's trying. That joker was on there and everything's still hot, so I still have to take the flywheel off. Haven't done that yet. Alright, let's get this off. See, the flywheel key looks good. This one does not have the any holes to connect that Briggs Stratton puller, so I'm gonna have to do it old school. So I need to get this somewhere. This looks like it'll work. So you put pressure outwards on the flywheel. Be careful not to crack your block and all that good stuff. And then tap on it with a hammer. But always put the nut or or your bolt will flare out. And that was it. So there's the key. There's the flywheel. Let's crack this baby open. I think I'll pull up a chair. Sorry guys, I thought my camera was on, but you can see the hell of a time I'm having to get this this case off. You know, I removed the seal. I mean, everything, it was just jammed in there, and I'm just having to slowly bring it out with the puller here. There we go. That was a pain in the butt. Yeah, see all the crap that's been in this case. We'll take all this out, take the camshaft off, swap it with the one out of here, get it all good and clean. Okay, so I got it all cleaned out, and took the crankshaft off, left the piston and the connecting rod on. So you can see that was pretty gummed up there too. So this was from the original engine. I'm going to tell you the truth. So I'm going to be using this camshaft, not camshaft, drive shaft, so you can see the difference. Ooh. But this one I've already cleaned off, so it'll go in and it'll seal much better than the other one. So here we go. Just go ahead and put it all together. The only thing I'm missing, I still need my seal and the gasket. So I can assemble all this. I'll just take like I said, I'm going to take all the good pieces from each, which the rest of it looks okay. The camshafts look identical. Yeah, there's no other piece, so I think that'll do it. And make sure you have that lined up correctly. You can see that one's a slot, and this is just a flat. Okay, so now the timing gear is lined up with that little notch on the camshaft, on the gear of the camshaft there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and clean all this off and get it ready for the new gasket and seal. And I guess I can just pop it on here for temporary and then go ahead and attach the flywheel and all that stuff. Alright, let's just put this on temporary. And we can put the flywheel on. I'm going to put this one on there. And here's the key. So everything's here. I'm just waiting for the gasket and the new seal. And you can see I did a valve job on it already. You saw it earlier in the video, and I did check the gap here. I believe they're at 0.004, and that's good enough. I'm not going to mess with it. I could go up to 5 or 6, but I'll leave good enough alone. Alright, so the parts finally got here. You can see that here's the seal. And the gasket's over here. I'll get that out in a minute. First I want to press the seal in. This is a Stens. I can put the link on the description there. So this presses in, and one thing to notice, okay, so this is what happened with the last one. Whoever put it in just seated in and bottomed it out on this bottom ledge. Well, you don't want to bottom out there, because you can see the channel here and then the weep hole. So while oil's being slung around, it's supposed to come down into this slot and keep all this lubricated, and then come out of the weep hole here at the bottom and keep circulating. And you can tell when you push it in there, just get it flat to this surface, because just for a quick measurement. Okay, so there's the thickness of the seal, and when you compare it to the depth, if you can see that, you can see how much of a gap is left there. So that's what you're looking for. Gotta have the gap, right? Alright, so I went and put it on the press. So when I put it on the press and then put a flat piece of, I had a flat piece of aluminum that I laid over, and when you press it in, you can see it's just perfect as far as the depth goes, and you can still see the gap. See right in there. Alright, let's make sure this is the right one. Fits perfect. Good so far. So now we need to make sure that that seal doesn't get damaged on this last little part. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's get this sealed. Let's see which screws go where. Here we go. Can you hear all the chickens in the background? That's my neighbors. They have a bunch of chickens over there. They're freaking great. We get fresh eggs all the time. They're pretty generous with them. Alright, so I will double check and make sure that it's torqued down correctly. It feels good for now. I'll check it before I mount it. So you can see I'd already gotten everything else installed. Now I want to make sure, I don't think I tightened that nut up for now. Put the spark plug on and let's put some oil in it, and then I will mount it to the mower. Well, alright. See, I got it all together. Looking pretty good. It's got the right pulley on it. Everything bolted right in. The only thing I have not done is adjust the blade, so it's just freewheeling right now. But let's see if we can get this joker started. Alright, choke is on. Throttle's about halfway. Come on now. Well, it's trying. Oh, come on, baby. Looks like I'm still having carburetor problems, damn it. I've got gas about halfway up. Definitely carburetor problems. Maybe I'm going to hook up a makeshift tank and drip it in for now. I just want to make sure this engine is going to be running good. Then I guess I'll have to mess with the carburetor again. So you can see I've got a little tank here, just balanced right there, but I have a fuel shut off. I'm going to see if I can control the fuel going into it from here. Probably flooding it. So I just got to get the carburetor working now. But the engine was actually running pretty smooth, wasn't it? Alright, so there's the linkage. Got everything apart. Here's the carburetor. So you see down there, let me take this out. Yep, there's some junk in there. But I don't think the problem is here. So you see all the gas that's in this one little top reservoir. So that's how these carburetors work. It takes gas up from here, dumps it into here, and then from here up through the carburetor. You know, so it takes, if I can get this, that makes sense. So the gas comes from the bottom of the tank up through here into this little cavity at the top, and then from here, that's where it sucks in the gas. And looks like that's where we're having the problem. Okay, so I went and cleaned the carburetor out. I actually went ahead and cleaned out both of them. This was the other one. That's the original one. Looks like it was in good shape. But let's see if it'll crank. Let's see, choke's on. Oh, let's turn the choke off a little bit, maybe halfway. Yeah, all the way off. All right, that did it. Took 3 times to clean that carburetor out, but it's working. So, still runs a little erratic. I'll probably put a new spark plug on it. I knew I put an old one back on, but other than that, the engine is running. The next thing I need to do is make all the adjustments on the linkage for the chain. You can see I was trying to engage the blade without engaging the power drive on it, and it's just not catching in there somewhere. So I'll have to take a look at that. So from here on in, it's just adjustments on the linkage and, you know, honing and adjusting the blades. But it's working. That's the big thing. So it was a lot of work. Like I said, I think it's worth it. It's like I've never had one myself, and decided, well, you know, I'll make all the adjustments and get it all running just perfect before I sell it off, if I sell it off. But I'll probably mow with it for a little while myself once the grass starts growing out here. But you know, I don't have the yard for it, you know. It's just the type of grass you need, and you know, so can I really use it? I don't know, but I've never had one before, so I'll probably keep it for a little while. I guess that's it for this video. I'm just gonna put it all back together and then start tweaking it and make all the adjustments necessary. So, and I'll probably do that on a separate video at a later date. No rush. At least I got the grunt of it done. You know, getting it all, you know, treating it for rust, repainting it, getting the engine running. You know, so whew. Yeah, that took a little work, but it's done. So I guess that's it for this video. Once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.